Hey, I just want to quickly highlight this case study and a client interview with one of our clients, the Track and Field Dreams. What I want to highlight in this clip is really the difference between your traditional software development firm that'll just take any requirements that you give to them and kind of what that leads to and who that's a good fit for, who it's typically not a good fit for. Typically, when you're going to a firm and you have a requirements list that you produce either with the help of a consultant, a developer, or different AI tools, right? What you do is you have this list of, here are the instructions to build what I'm looking to build, right? You go ahead and give that to a developer and they just take that and go ahead and build it for you, right? And so that's obviously a great fit for individuals or teams who have already built products before, they built software before, they know the ins and outs of it, they know their market, they've already built in that market, and they have confidence as far as they just need execution. Now, who it's typically not a good fit for, and this clip kind of illustrates it very well, is individuals who haven't built products before, who are obviously experts within their industry, but they haven't gone and sat with a development team and built software before. And it's not uncommon, nor is it a mystery to kind of understand why individuals and teams without that experience think that that's the next step. It's because it sounds quite intuitive, right? Here's a list of what I want to get. Like you're ordering from a restaurant, I want this, this, and this. And can you guys go ahead and build this for me? Yes or no? If so, what's the cost? But one of the things that a lot of the clients that we work very well with and who are in a similar spot to probably the person yourself watching this video is that having a product that just works technically is not exactly what we're after, right? That's just writing. Anyone can write any code, right? It's just a little piece of code that has no bugs. And that's kind of what the goal of most of traditional development firms is. They'll take your requirements and they'll go ahead and build it so it works technically, but has no bugs. But again, really where we sit in is we're more product consultants first. We want to make sure that what you're giving us, those instructions, are actually the right instructions to solve the problem in the most risk-adverse way. And it's going to set you up for long-term success as best as we possibly can, right? It's a difference between saying to someone, imagine there's, let's say, buried treasure. It's 100 miles north of us right now, right? And you go to someone and you say, hey, I think there's treasure over here. This is the plan for the roadmap. We want to go this direction, stop here, go here, do this, right? And I say, great, awesome. I'll go ahead and take you right now, right? And then come to find out, you go, 20 miles per hour west, and you're never going to get there. All right. What we want to do is actually sit first and foremost and say, all right, I understand you have this plan for where you want to go, but why did you have this plan, not this plan? Right? How did you come up with this conclusion? Challenge you on that, because it doesn't matter how fast or how cheap the trip is, right? If you're going 10 miles per hour west or east, you're never going to get to north, right? No matter how cheap it is, no matter whatever they tell you, you're never going to get there, right? And that's why product strategy, which is what we help consult on first and foremost with our discovery process, is so much more valuable than implementation, especially if you've never done it before, right? If you've already built your own products before and you have that expertise and you just need developers to implement it, different story. But if you haven't, again, we typically hear from clients that that first step as far as helping them figure out what the map actually should be, right, is typically more valuable. So I won't blab on too much. I'll let Jonathan here explain his experience, and hopefully this is illuminating to you.
And I think I shared it with you. Man, it took me almost a year and a half, right?
From when you started searching to...
When I started searching, I'm going through companies and going through companies and going through companies. And then when we got to you, I already had 3 companies sitting that I was trying to decide on which one I was going to go with. But when we got to your company, it was night and day. The difference between you guys and them, what you were offering technically, communication-wise, the communication platforms. You guys are open and showing everything that's going on throughout the process and step by step. Nobody offered that to us, so I thought that was huge. And having, access and insight to where you guys were and what was the next step. And how those two were going to tie together to reach what we were trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's really special that you mentioned that, because there's a big distinction between types of firms, and it's hard to understand that if you're not someone that comes from a product or technology background. Yeah. Where like what you're describing previously is more of a traditional just engineer development firm where you essentially bring all of the requirements, You write it out. Okay, I want to build X, Y, Z. They just take that and they're more like a yes man, right? Like we're going to do this for you. I don't care if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
If you tell them to build a house and you don't specify that you need windows, we're not going to build any windows, right?
Yeah.
Whereas where we like to come in is, of course, like I said, we're not going to pretend to be experts in every industry, but we've built products before, right? And we have, tribal knowledge of dozens of industries that we've worked with to be able to first have that process is ask the right questions, right? Especially when we're going 0 to 1, like these tiny minutiae that you obviously take for granted being in this space, where someone who's coming from a technology background needs to understand before they get starting writing code is super important. Otherwise, what happens if you start 3-6 months down the road and then it becomes this whole thing where like you thought you were going to get X, we're showing you Y, we thought you wanted Y. We never had that conversation.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that's really special, like you mentioned that.